good welfare, not for woe, right? He doesn't want us to be miserable, but we make ourselves miserable, and we're not always going to be like, okay, something happened, I've fallen down, I'm going to rise up right away. No, of course, it's a process, it's life, right? But you find, you just trust. It goes back to trusting him, that without him, we are nothing. Without him, we are not going to be able to get through it. He doesn't want us to be miserable. So, once we get out of our misery, that's when we're like, okay, God, help me out. I want to be better. I want to get out of the dark. Easier said than done, right? So eventually, my best friend, little by little, she's like, okay, I want to live life again. She went skydiving and everything. She really lived life, right? But little did I know, that while she was, rising up from her misery, I too was going through my own heartbreak. Okay. I guess I had good things going for me last year, and God was bringing people. I felt that I had, I don't know how to talk about it.
Love you, Bertie.
Okay. God, I guess brought someone into my life that, okay, we'll see where it goes. That's how I felt about it. I was trying to think of something to share to you guys, I'll be honest. But I didn't want to go back 10 years ago. So this is the most recent thing. It's not easy. Bear with me. And I thought, okay, great, hey, but what I realized is, for the longest time, I was like, God and I, we were solid. Me and him. Jesus is my boyfriend. I'm okay. I don't need any guy. I have my career to focus on. And then, one day, there could be a guy, right? And I was just like, oh, hey, holler.
Holler.
And I was like, okay. I dress up more now. I just don't, and I was like, okay, wow, this is okay. And little by little, as I got to know this person, I started to drift away from God. Like, he gave me a gift, but my relationship with him, with God, wasn't the same anymore. It's like, oh, I gave you something good. You should be happy, right? And just be happy with me still. But my priorities were different, It was this first and God number 10, Whereas before it was God first and everything else second, right? And it wasn't about the guy or anything, but I realized that my own heartbreak was me straying away from him. That for the longest time, aside from my family, he was the one thing that was constant in my life, the one thing that kept me grounded, kept me at peace. And just like that, in a snap, I would snap, but I can't snap. Just like that. Thank you. Snap. Okay, no, thank you. It was easy for me to turn my back on him. 11 years, right, of being a part of this community, 11 years of working on being a good Christian, and just this one experience made me turn and be like, I can live without you too, God. Well, I was wrong. And it's like when you do things that are not in line with God, life is not as full. I wasn't as happy. I felt that I was just going through the motions, and there was no life, Even the person wasn't really making me happy. It was just like, I was just like, oh, okay, he's there, But I felt too that I was compromising my standards, because there's just someone, but it wasn't really the someone that was for me. Not to say that the person was a bad person, no. But, you know, he just wasn't the one for me. And when I realized that, I was just like, oh my gosh, I did so much. I gave so many advice to my best friend, to my friends, that you don't do this for a guy, you don't do that for a guy. Here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know? So,
That's true.
it stopped becoming about God. It became more about me. And the moment that happens in your life, you know, once you start to have that relationship with Him, when it becomes all about you, it's not straight, because it's never about us. It's about God, who wants the best for us. And I'm blessed to have people, you know, who tell me that, hey, you need to snap out of it. And you need to realize that, you know, you're better than this. And I guess eventually I got through it too. It wasn't that bad, but, you know, of course, I gave a kiss to my heart. You know? I'm okay now, right? I'm happy. And that's not fake. I'm really happy. So, as Christians, you know, we have to realize that God needs to be in control of our lives. God doesn't owe us anything. We owe everything to Him because He blesses us. He's the one who makes things happen in our life, whether you know it, whether you want to accept it or not. And our goal, we need to have two goals in life. One is to get to heaven, and the second one is to bring everyone that we love to heaven with us. Because for me, when I go to heaven, when I die, I don't want to be there all by myself. I want to bring all my friends, my family with me, because it's a party, right? I mean, partying doesn't stop here on earth. It continues on, right? The after party. How fun, you know, it won't be as fun if, you know, the people that I love aren't with me there. So right now, I work on, you know, bringing my friends to love God too, right? And my family to love God too, as much as I love God. And the only way I can show that is by how I live as a Christian. You know, being a Christian, like I said in the beginning, it's not easy. It's not always, you know, flowers and candies, roses. You know, being a Christian, sometimes you have to go through wires. You're gonna fall. You know, you're gonna see the dark. But this past Tuesday, I watched One Tree Hill. And it's a show on Tuesday night. Monday night. Sorry, Monday. And they said in that show, there's beauty in the struggle. Struggle, right? There's beauty in the struggle. And beauty in the attempt. Thank you. And I truly believe that is true. There is beauty in the attempt if we just go for it. You know, if we attempt to live the good life, if we attempt to live a life with God in it, our life is gonna be beautiful. And you know, for me, I am